My buddy Chris Weidman, a UFC middleweight champion, he had Kevin James from King of Queens on his podcast. And he was like, man, I remember one day you picked me up for like a workout and I got in your car and your car was a mess. And I was like, dude, you're not going to do good in this fight. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm training my butt off. He was like, no, you don't understand like the reflection of like what you're dropping the ball on here and the chaos here and the mess here means you might have that part of your life together, but your life is not together. And that's going to show up on fight day. And I feel like that's the thing where people were like, dude, tell me how to do a subject to, Dave. I just want to learn from you guys how to get a cash flow property. And even if you gave them the steps on how to do it, the reason that people make money and lose money is because they don't have this, and they're not really the person who's ready to take on that kind of responsibility and really be, it's like a guy getting in off the street and wanting to go fight in the UFC. It's like you are not mentally ready for that type of stress to take on that type of responsibility. And I think what you're saying is the biggest thing that I see new investors miss is getting that part right.
Well, there's so much ego in business, Nick. When you go to these mastermind groups, what's the first question everybody asks? It's like, well, how many doors do you have? I'm here to let you know from somebody who owned at one point over 400 rental properties, it's not about how many doors you own. It's how they're performing and how much actual bottom line they're actually making. So many wholesalers online. I got no hate for anyone. It is what it is. Everybody's saying how much they made. That's the top line. How many deals? Nobody cares. It doesn't matter how many deals you do. It's how much money you make and how much net profit you're actually keeping. And this just comes with maturity. But the ego side of this is just more, and just not paying attention to details. And the whole foundation, Nick, that I want to get into is I believe we are all spiritual beings having a human experience, right? So you are a soul. I'm not a religious guy. I don't get down. I just don't follow any sect or path, but I'm a spiritual guy. And religious people, they're the ones who kind of fear hell. Spiritual guys, those are the ones who just been through fucking hell, right? That's straight up. And you fight your way out. So I believe this is the whole thesis here. This is my whole take, right? I believe we're spiritual beings having a human experience, right? So we are these souls. And what is the life purpose? What is our life purpose? What is the purpose of this soul? It is to learn. It is to grow, right? How do we learn and how do we grow? We learn and we grow through overcoming challenges and we overcome adversity. So we actually embrace, as the spiritual being having a human experience, we embrace what one of my favorite spiritual teachers talks about, Abraham Hicks. Do you know Abraham Hicks?
Yeah, absolutely.
Love
Abraham Hicks. Yeah.
Abraham talks about we have this contrast in our life or these challenges. And the purpose of the contrast or the challenges that we have in our life is to help us clarify our focus and to overcome these challenges. Because what happens is when we overcome these challenges, we not only get clarity on what it is that we're doing, but we build self-worth. All self-worth stems from you overcoming challenges and feeling proud of yourself and feeling pride in the work that you're doing. And we live in a day and age right now, Nick, where everything is so easy. It is what it is. I'm not complaining. We are the manifestation of our previous ancestors. They made it this way for us. If you're hungry, you go to the store and you just get some food. Just as an example, we don't have to hunt if we don't want to and things like that. Everything is by choice. I mean, even the poorest people here in the United States, I mean, it's ridiculous. There's so much food and abundance and everything else. So things are so easy right now. I believe that we're actually taking away from that spiritual path, right? We're removing a lot of obstacles and challenges. So I believe if we do not self-inflict challenges, if we don't self-inflict contrast to overcome, we're subconsciously going to create challenges in our life. And that comes in the form of self-sabotage. And that's what I did. I was constantly seeking the hack. I wanted the easy way out. What group do I got to join? How am I going to be successful? This and that. I was always constantly seeking the latest hack, this, that, and the other. And I didn't have the pride of truly overcoming challenges. I didn't have that self-worth. And I just buried my own lack of self-worth, my own insecurities with alcohol and drugs. And I think a lot of people do that, right? And here's the thing. Let me ask you this question. Are you on YouTube? Is your show on YouTube?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know the YouTube channel called Soft White Underbelly?
No.
It's a rabbit hole, bro. So this guy, his name is Mark Laita, Laita, I believe his name is. So he created this channel where he brings people in off the street. And this is the bottom of the barrel. These people are coming off the street on Skid Row. These are schizophrenics. These are drug addicts. These are prostitutes. These are pimps. These are, straight up drug addicts, meth, fentanyl, alcohol, the whole deal. This is the real deal. And he interviews them all. They share their life story. And this is some of the most horrific shit. However, you can't turn it off. It's an incredible channel. Mark, the creator of Soft White Underbelly, was interviewed by Joe Rogan. And then Joe Rogan asked, what is the common characteristic or common trait that you see in all of these people who are struggling so hard? And he said the number one thing is just lack of self-worth. People just don't believe they deserve anything more than a cardboard box and a needle in their arm. That's what the common trait is. So we have to consciously, Nick, we have to build our self-worth. We are programmed and conditioned, and it's not our parents' fault. It's not our teacher's fault. It's not even our grandparents' fault. This goes back to when there was kings, queens, pharaohs, and there was literally just a people that ruled the land and everybody else worked for those rulers. They conditioned everybody. It's like, look, you need us because you are not enough. And actually, I'm not going to get down the rabbit hole of religion, but a lot of religion is that way too. Like a pastor, there's amazing pastors out there that inspire. Think of the word inspire. It's in spirit. They invoke inspired action in people, and I love it. I'm not taking away from pastors, but there's a lot of churches, and they kind of turn into cults and stuff like that, where it's like, you need me. If you don't have me, if you don't have my teachings, you are never going to reach the promised land. So we've been conditioned and programmed to think we need things outside of ourselves to be our best, to be whole, to be enough. When that's false, that is not true. You are already enough. Being a spiritual being, having a human experience, you're already enough. But we're conditioned to believe you need to go buy something new. You need to add to this. You need to go acquire something. You need to go sign up for this new supplement. You need this new workout regime. You need something out here, and then you will be enough. What we must know is that you're already enough inside. And then it becomes a game, Nick, of not adding things on, but fucking layering shit off and starting to chop things off that are not you and not your real self, right? So you start cutting out the shit that you need. Why did I drink so much alcohol for all these years and do drugs and all this? It's because I didn't feel I was enough in my sober self. I didn't feel I was enough. Once you realize you're enough, you can start removing anything external that you're currently seeking validation from, right? It's the same thing. It's like, look at me on social media. How many likes did I get? How many comments did I get? Or how many views did I get? We're seeking this validation externally when we can bring the focus internally and we can genuinely get our own validation from ourselves and from the work that we're putting in and from the way that we overcome challenges. Be proud of yourself from the way that you are overcoming contrast and challenges. Get all of your validation from yourself and overcoming the things that you overcome on a day-to-day basis. You don't need anything externally anymore. And you start to bring it back to that spiritual being having a human experience. And that is where you can actually find happiness. You're going to create success, but it is knowing that you are already enough.